Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good whatever it is that you are. My other computer is making noises at me right now. I'm Carol C.C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chat, where the intention is to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So that's what I'm here for. Come join me in comments. Let me know where you're joining me from. I am in Chicago. The weather has turned more back into the normal cold 30-ish degrees here, but it's still beautiful to be alive. So let me know where you're joining me from. Also, let me know if it's your first time being here with me. I do like to go over a couple of things before we get started to let you know a little bit more about who I am and the work that I do with my coaching and through my nonprofit, Positive Focus. So hi Stacia, good to have you here. Before I get started, I want to welcome a new member to my Embrace Your Life community. Just put in Embrace Your Life. Is it Embrace Your Life community or Embrace Your Life? Now I'm not sure, but into Facebook, it's a group. It's a private group that I ask a couple questions just to keep spammers out, but it's much smaller, so I see your comments and questions far easier there than I do on this page. I definitely come back later in the day and look at the live to see if there's new questions or if I've missed somebody. So please make sure to add your comments, questions here too. If there's something else you would like me to approach, bringing a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to, put that in there and I will add it to future conversations. I'm here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I'm welcoming, I don't know that I'm pronouncing this right, Deh? It's Deeh, has joined the Embrace Your Life community. So welcome, welcome, welcome. The two things that I like to go over, which I'm just reminding myself to slow down. People who speak English first probably can keep up with me, although I speak pretty fast for anybody. But for people who English might be their second or third language, I speak way too fast. So I apologize up front on that. I will try to remind myself to slow down. But one of the things I like to let people know about me is I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good or bad. There are 7 billion people on this planet. Can't begin to say what is always right for 7 billion people or never right for 7 billion people. So I work on the majority of the time, 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. I don't know anybody at 0 and I don't know anybody at 100. I know people are closer to the 100 and I know people are closer to the 0. It's where you're at right now and where you want to go. So the majority of the time means 51%. My personal work for me and the clients that I work with is to be in the 80 to 100% range. What does that mean? Fear visits me, frustration, worry, disappointment, unworthiness, all of those normal, heavier feelings that we have, which are part of life, visit me. But because of my daily practices, they just visit and they don't move in. I feel what I need to feel, work through it however that shows up for me, and I reach for a better feeling thought. Sometimes it's in a second because I'm aware of it. Sometimes it takes longer to shift out of that heavier feeling. The heaviness of unworthiness, fear, frustration, anger, none of them are wrong. It's how much time do you want to spend there? The second thing I like to share is I'm a coach. I love supporting people on living their best life, whatever that looks like. I am not a counselor, nor am I a therapist. And sometimes to live your best life, seeking that type of support is crucial in doing so. I believe you're worthy of living your best life. So whether it's working with me, working with another coach, working with good friends, a clergy member, a counselor, or a therapist, I encourage you to create your support team that's going to help you live your best life. So that's my starting things that I like to share. Now we're going to get into the topic, but let me quickly say hello to people. Hi, Brian. So you're Dee, did I say that right? Am I pronouncing your name right? You're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Oregon is in the house. Welcome, Cindy. It's your first time joining. Hi, Ricky. Good to have you here. I have someone here from South Africa. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because I will not do a good job of it. But it's another thing I like about this community is generally speaking, There's people from all over the world, and we may come from different ethnicities, different religious backgrounds, different um, all sorts of different reasons that we are different. But the vast majority, again, I'm not going to say everyone, but the vast majority of us want the same things: to be happy, to be healthy, to be safe, to feel that we matter and that we're heard and seen in this world. So that's the work I'm here for, is to help heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows. And I love that we have a community from all over the place here. So definitely let me know. Greetings from London. Hello, Sylvia. Good to have you here. So today's topic is getting clear, being clear of what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life, being clear of who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life, or who it's important to maybe they're an important person in your life, but you can minimize the time you spend with them because they bring you fear, they bring you the frustration, they bring you the anger. For whatever reason, it's harder to be around them and to stay in the majority of feeling better. That doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them a wrong person, but it might make them a not good fit person for you. And that's what you want to focus on, is how you feel, how you show up, and who you want to show up and be each day. So I forget who said they were new here. Cindy. So what I like to do is I pick a word, then I give an affirmation around that word, and then we talk about some tips to incorporate that into a daily practice for us to live our best lives. The tips that I give you, if I tell you I've not tried it, then I've not tried it. But most of the tips that I use are things that I either do daily for myself or I have used before to stay in that space of living my best life. Sometimes your best life might be getting out of bed if you're going through a really hard time. Sometimes your best life looks like the world is your oyster and everything is perfect. So it's not about it being perfect all the time, but it is about reaching for it to feel a little bit better step by step by step. So today's word is clarity. And the definition is the quality or state of being clear. I was going to pull the definition for the word clear, and I did not do that. But again, it's about focusing on what you want in your life and what I'll talk about this on a different time. I think I have discussed it. What's essential and what's ideal. The essentials are, without these essentials, the answer is no. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate. The ideals are things that would make every situation ideal, but we tend to have a few things that are essential to us. And when you know your essentials rather than your ideals, that helps you make decisions. I'll cover that another time. I'll be here forever if I go into that one as well. So again, today, clarity, the quality or state of being clear. I really encourage you, and we're going to talk about it in tips, is to get clear on what your best life looks like. Your best life looks different than my best life. Part of my best life is I love Chicago. I love living in Chicago. I would like to not live in Chicago during the winter months, but I do love living in Chicago. Some people, that would be a horrible life to live in a big city. They want to be in the mountains, or they want to be in a suburb, or they want to be in a small town. So whatever your best life looks like, get clear on that. I am clear that Chicago has my heart, but it doesn't have my heart in the winter. So one of the things that I'm striving for is to be out of Chicago, say January, February, and maybe even March. We'll see how that goes. This was the first year that I actually left the city for about, I think it's about 6 weeks, 5 weeks or 6 weeks, where I was not in the cold of Chicago. So it felt really good. So we're going to get clear about that too. So I use affirmations. I love affirmations. It's simply to affirm something. It's a statement. I work with positive affirmations. You can affirm what you don't like about yourself. And I've done that as well. Still do it on occasion. And I catch myself and I reframe it into a positive statement. So it's simply a statement. But the caveat is it can be a positive statement and not positive for you. A statement of, I am really smart, is a positive statement. I think all of you would agree that that's a positive statement. However, if 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, or my normal self-talk is I'm not very smart, as soon as I say I am very smart, I'm like, no, I'm not. I did XYZ 10 minutes ago that was not very smart. When you negate the positive statement, it is no longer positive for you. So you're going to want to switch it around into something believable. It can be a stretch from where you are, but you don't want it to be such a big stretch that you're already saying, no, that's not true. Because the affirmation is to replace the negative self-talk that we've had for years, possibly things that have been put into our heads from parents, teachers, siblings, all sorts of people. And a lot of it wasn't even meant to be negative. However, we may have felt it that way and absorbed it as a negative statement just because of who we are. So we want to replace that as much as possible because we tend to be our worst enemies. If you find a lot of people that you think are not nice to you, I'm pretty sure if you really looked, not at all, by the way, of excusing others to not be nice to you, but I bet if you looked at your self-talk, you would be surprised how unkind you are to yourself in your thoughts, in your words, and sometimes your actions. So we're going to want to focus on that too. So today's affirmation that I chose, and if it does not resonate with you, I encourage you to create something for yourself. I am clear on what I want and deserve in my life. Now, even doing this exercise, getting ready for today's talk, I realize there's some things that I'm not clear about. I know I want something, but I'm not clear about what that looks like for me. So I'm actually going to go over some of these steps myself again, because wow, I did not realize that I was not clear on that. And I'll discuss that in the tips part of it. But I am clear on what I want and deserve in my life. So if that sounds good and it's believable, absolutely use it. If you're not clear and you haven't even thought about what you want in your life, or perhaps you're going through such a hard time in your life right now that you're clear about what you don't want, or you're so focused on what you don't want that you don't even see the do wants. So then I would go into, I'm in the process of feeling clear about what I want and deserve in my life. I'm in the process of brings it into you shifting it into a true statement. If it's a true statement to you now and it's believable, use it that way. If it's not true right now, but you want it to be true, go into the I'm in the process of becoming, I'm in the process of doing, and then change it from there. Or create one all to yourself on what you want. So now we're going to talk about the tips on getting clear. And I think it's important to realize, if you've joined me before, you know I'm going to talk about feeling your feelings. It's not about pretending that your life is rainbows and unicorns and puppy dogs and all things good. That would be lovely. I don't know of anybody who lives in that lifestyle. You can focus on the good things in your life more and create more from there. But life also offers us opportunity for sadness, for disappointment, for frustration, for anger. So it's not about ignoring those feelings, but it is about how long do you want to stay there? How long do you want to give those heavier feelings the power over you? So when you feel your feelings, you can decide, you know what? What just happened has me so angry right now. I need to sit with this for a moment. It's not about acting out on your anger and spewing your anger on other people. That tends to not support you in changing and shifting into a better feeling place. But it is about acknowledging this hurts right now and I need to be here. Or it's, I don't like this feeling and I'm ready to move forward. So it's the awareness of it that allows you to shift and change or stay where you are. It's not a right or a wrong. It's where you're at and where do you want to be. So as far as getting clear, I've talked about this several times as well. I really want you to write down, some people call it a bucket list. That's what I call it. But write down things that you want to experience in your life, from the smallest thing that you know can possibly happen today, or you actually know is going to happen today, but it's something that you want to happen, to the biggest things that you have absolutely no idea that it can possibly happen, but it's still something you want to experience. I've shared this before, and it was a bucket list item that could not come true now because the person passed away. But I had meeting Desmond Tutu on my bucket list. He has a special place in my heart because of Global Hugs, and I'll talk about that a different time. But he passed away in December, I believe. I believe it was in December. It might have been January, but I believe it was in December. I knew, having him on my bucket list, that he was an elder gentleman, that he had health issues, and he lives in Africa. I am in Chicago. I don't have the capacity or means currently to travel to Africa. There is a global pandemic going on, and he's famous and I'm not. So the opportunities to have that bucket list come true were smaller. They were certainly not at the 51% range, but it was still something I wanted to experience. So I still included it. So I hope that makes sense on keep those big things that you want. And some will still have the capacity to come true and others may not, but it does not mean that they're not valid for you and that they're not worthy of your attention. So it's about what it is and it feels like. So that's going to be the second tip. So first tip is write everything down. It could be a list. I mean, I encourage you to make it as long as possible. Probably many of you have some dreams right now that you absolutely know and you're pretty clear about and want to create from there. So we'll talk about that too. But I really would like to see you write down as many things as possible and even put them in. I want my son to understand his feelings more. Kate, that is a great one. And maybe we'll talk about that another time. And Nagora, I hope I said that right. How to control anger. That is also a great topic that will possibly be another. I don't think I'll go in that today, but I will definitely write that one down because I think that's a great one too. Thank you for those ideas. I appreciate it's a chat, even though you're not here where I can physically see you. The whole point is that it's a chat. So you've written your list from 5 things that you want in your life to 100 things. I'm hoping it's the bigger end of it. But now that you've gotten this list, I want you to take it and look at each item. So what is it about the job that you want to have? Maybe you have a specific title, a specific company, or you want to start your own business. What is it about that experience that makes you come alive? Get into the feeling place of why is this important to you? And then just feel that out and to see what it is. Because when you get into your feeling place about it, it can show up in different ways, but it's coming from that I want to feel that I make a difference in the world. I want to feel that I work with a collaborative team. I want to feel that it's an easy experience, that I have a work-life balance. Whatever it is, go into each experience and see what emotion it brings about for you. Why is it important for you to experience this? One of mine, and this is where I found out that I need more clarity around it. I have talked about that I started doing free hugs in 2008. Then I created a global event that same year. And it's really about having people be seen and feel that they matter in this world. That is what connects me with free hugs. So I want to grow that vision and make it more where there's more people involved and more people are signing up and feeling that they're seen and they matter. I realized when I had that on my list, and it's also on my list to meet the global huggers. I have a gentleman, Yago, in Switzerland, and he's been joining me for many years. He hugs out in 3 different cities in Switzerland. He also does free hugs on his own, not through just the annual event. And I would love to meet him someday. And I would love to meet other huggers that have joined up from different places in the US and in the world. But I haven't gotten clear on why it's important. How many countries do I want involved? I want all, as that matter, but I don't even know what the list of countries are, 230 or something. But what ones are really important for me to get involved? I would like huggers on every continent. So far, I have not gotten huggers on Antarctica. There aren't as many people who live there. So it's about me getting clear on why it's important and having a more of a definitive vision of what that looks like. So that's why it's important to know the why does this matter to you? So review that list and ask yourself. And remember that this list is always changing. It's always evolving. It's always growing. There will be things that you check off the list because you did it, and that will go into your celebration pile. There will be things that you take off the list because they no longer matter to you, and that's okay too. We are continually changing and growing and evolving, and your list should represent that as well. So you might put something on it today that's really important to you, and 6 months from now, a year from now, maybe even 2 weeks from now, you realize, you know what? The more I think about it, the more this really isn't important to me. So you're going to remove it from your list. It's not a right or a wrong. It's who you are, how you feel, and how you want to feel. That's the importance of the list to do that. The third thing is, so now you've made this list and it's going to continue to shift. So it's not a completed list, but it's a good list for you to work from. So the third thing is I want you to visualize what living your best life looks like. That's going to include all the different things that you put on there. And actually, this exercise may help you realize when you're visualizing those experiences that, okay, this one really isn't as important as I thought. So you might remove it from there. But just take some moments each day and just think about being like me meeting Yago and how is that going to feel? Me, another one on my bucket list, a lot of mine on my bucket list are travel, but another one is to see the Northern Lights. How would that feel? And get myself into that space of feeling it and go from there. Create a vision board and put pictures of what your best life looks like to you. I have a lot of words on my vision board because words are very impactful and powerful for me, but a lot of people don't have any words on it. It's just pure pictures of, like, I have a picture of the Northern Lights that I want to experience in my lifetime. So create that. Now, with vision boards, I encourage you, because we're going to talk about overwhelm in a moment, is create it, have fun. It's such a creative, fun process. And some people recommend putting it in a place that you look at daily. I would recommend that if it feels good, it gets you excited, you want more of it, because then you're in the space of creating of what you want, not creating from a lack space. If you're looking at your vision board and everything on it is pointing out what you currently don't have in your life, then put it away, because you're coming from the lack space of not having it rather than the exciting space of it coming to you. So put it away, maybe pull it out weekly, maybe pull it out monthly. But if you're giving your attention from a place of lack, it is not supporting and creating it. It is supporting you in holding it back from you. It's not right or wrong. It's just slowing the process down. So know that vision boards are powerful tools if they bring you happiness and if they bring you excitement. If they're bringing you the feeling of lack, I still think it's a good exercise to do, because I think in the creating of it, you're not coming from a lack space. But it may not be a good tool for you. So if it doesn't feel good, guess what? Don't do it. So now we're going to pick a few of those off of your list, off of your vision board. But I want you to pick things that you can absolutely see happening. And maybe it's even things that you can see happening in the next 6 months. You could focus on that big ticket item that you really want and you have zero idea how it's going to happen. And matter of fact, you can't imagine it happening. If you can stay in the excited space of it and see it coming in different ways. Most of us like to have steps on knowing how it's going to happen. So if you're focused on something that puts you in overwhelm, that's probably not a good time, energy spent on focusing on what brings you into overwhelm. If you're focusing on the things that you're excited about, and you can come up with daily plans, I won't today, but I could absolutely start researching different places to see the Northern Lights. And I have done that to some extent, not as much as I could, but I could look at what time of year should I go? What's the best locations in the world to have the best opportunity to see them? I have zero idea. Is there a certain place in the world that the colors are pink and purple and other ones are green and yellow? Or is it anywhere that could be experienced? So I can do the research on it to bring it forth and to get into that feeling place. Now, if researching it immediately goes into, I can't afford to do that, I don't know when I'm going to afford to do that, then again, I'm focused on the lack rather than the excitement. This exercise is to not focus on how it's going to happen. It's to focus on, I want it to happen, and create the steps forward. So this step here is important to do it in a matter of that you can see it happening. If you can really see those big ones happening, I'm not going to tell you not to focus there. My important thing is for you to focus on what brings you joy, what brings you happiness, what brings you excitement, rather than what puts you into the fear space, the lack space. Because when you're focused on the lack, you are giving that energy to grow. Again, lack is not wrong. Fear is not wrong. It's where do you want to spend the majority of your time? The majority of us are going to have lack, fear, frustration, all of those emotions popping up from time to time. And because we're aware of them, then we get to decide how much time and energy and space we're going to give to them. So the next one is, so you've picked a few that you're going to focus on, and you're going to create some steps, whether it's doing some research or reaching out to people. But I encourage you to pay attention to who you share your dreams with, because a lot of people you share your dreams with. I learned this, probably 10, 15 years ago now, and I do not know who to credit it with. So I would love to be able to do that. But they called it your sharks and your dolphins in your life. And they're, generally speaking, people who love you. Yet one comes from more of a, I see this for you. Your dolphins surround you and protect you when you might be injured in the water. And your sharks are more fear-based, so they go into attack mode when they're afraid. So you share your big dreams with people who are going to support you in seeing that vision for you. They may still ask questions on like, well, what are you thinking about this? But they're coming from a place of, I want this for you. I see this for you. Your shark friends, and they can be your parents sometimes, they're afraid of you failing and getting hurt. So they're going to share with you every possible way that it won't work. Not because they don't want you to experience it, but they're afraid that you're not going to experience it. So they want to protect you before it happens. So those are the people that you're going to share less with until you're so confident about what you want that it does not matter that they're putting up roadblocks for you. But while you're still growing your strength around this dream, you want to share it with people who can see it for you. So that's what I would encourage you to do. And then the last one is, again, is to pay attention to how it feels. Whatever it is that you're wanting to create in your life, if you're focused on the excitement of it, the worthiness that you deserve of it, then keep going. If it's bringing about the fear of it, the overwhelm, how am I possibly going to create this in my life? Then you're going to want to lessen and pull it back into something that's believable for you. Kind of like the affirmation. If you're immediately saying no, then it's probably not a good step to work with. You want to bring it into something that you can see, that you're excited about, and that you know you deserve. When you're creating from a place of worthiness, when you're creating from a place of love, when you're creating from a place of peace and kindness, then you're bringing that energy forth. When you're creating from fear, then you're bringing that energy forth. Again, not right or wrong, just where you're at right now and how you want to be. When you're 51% in the space of love, in peace, in kindness, in compassion, in excitement, you're creating from that lighter, more loving energy. When you're at 49%, you're creating a little bit more from fear. Again, not right or wrong. It's about being aware of where you are today and where you want to go from there. We all have experiences in our life that are really heavy, and getting out of that space of the heaviness takes more work, but you're worthy of doing the work to feel a little bit better. Some days it's getting out of bed. Some days it's screaming at the top of your lungs how wonderful your life is. So it's not a right or wrong on where you're at. It's just where you're at and how do you want to go through your day, through your week, through your month to create your best life. So that is what we're talking about today. Thank you for being here. Get clear on what you want. Often we get clarity on what we want by experiencing what we don't want. So when you're clear about this doesn't feel good, I don't like this scares me, turn it around into what would feel better, what would I like more, and what would take me out of the fear. So don't get into blaming yourself or getting mad at yourself for focusing on what you don't want. Use it as a tool to reframe it into, this doesn't feel good. I don't want this. What can I do right now to feel a little bit better and to move forward into focusing on what I want rather than what I don't want? When you're aware of it, you're able to shift that. Sometimes the shifting is hard because we're going through a really hard time, but being aware of it allows you to make that shift. When you're on autopilot, life is living you. You are not living life. So let me go back to the definition really quick, and then I'm going to come into comments before we close out. Definition: clarity, the quality or state of being clear. Get clear on what living your best life looks like. Remember, it's going to shift, it's going to evolve, it's going to change. So be okay with that. Be okay thinking today my best life looks like this. And in 6 months, realize, no, that's not going to be what I want. I experienced for the first time being out of Chicago for a month. I loved it. I want more of it. I could have done that and realized, no, that's not what I want. So it's again, trying different things on to see if it's moving you closer to living your best life or if it's holding you back from living your best life. Not right or wrong, how you feel and how you want to feel. So I hope this helped. And let me go in and see if there's any questions, comments, or topics for future. And again, I will come back later. Sometimes I don't see people's comments while I'm live, and I will go back later. So if I did not say hello to you, I promise you I will come back later and do that. India is in the house. Nova Scotia, first, I don't even know why, but you were on my bucket list. I've always wanted to visit Nova Scotia. Let's see, Cindy, sending gratitude is a great way to get into the clarity of what you want and the energy of what you want. Focusing on being grateful for things we take for granted. I don't know about you, but I don't have to ask my body to breathe. I don't have to ask my body for its heart to beat. Those are things that I would take for granted, but those are things that I go back to on the harder days where it might be harder to come up with things that I'm grateful for. Now, I've been doing this for many, many years, so even on my hard days, I can easily go into being grateful for things during my hard time. So it's a practice. It's a daily practice. So I really do encourage you to practice gratitude. So I will talk about the anger on a different call. And Kate, I'll talk about understanding. I want my son to understand his feelings more. If you can give me a little clarity around that, Kate, I'd appreciate it. Understanding feelings. Because I'll write this note and then I'll be asking myself, what did I mean by that? Let's see. To know how you feel is. And Kate, I don't know how old your son is either, but emotional intelligence is something that not everybody is necessarily born with, and it's something to learn. And I do think, again, I'm coming from a Western standpoint. I don't really know if this is the same for the Eastern world, but especially with men, they've been taught to be strong and steady and not show emotion and feelings. So that even takes a little bit more work to be comfortable with feeling your feelings. It takes work for women to be comfortable feeling their feelings because it's seen as being a weakness and not being strong. Vulnerability is one of your top strengths when you're able to be vulnerable with yourself and learn and grow and feel what it needs to feel to move forward from there. Gina, this is so true. I'm going through some serious changing and I'm feeling lighter because I'm letting go of things. Excellent. And especially it's important to let go of things that we don't have control over. You hear people complaining about the weather or complaining about things, their work environment. But if it's something you don't personally have control over, I'm not saying not to be wanting a better work environment or wanting to have better weather, but I am saying if it's something you can't control, you're spinning your wheel. So ask yourself, what can I control here? I can control what I feel about the weather. I can move if it's that important, but I can't control Mother Nature. I talk to her all the time and I try to get her to give me better weather, but I don't have control over that. I do have control over showing up as my best self, whether it's 20 degrees outside or whether it's 80 degrees outside. That's what I have control over. I can control moving to a different place if I don't like the environment I live in. And sometimes we don't have that ability either if we're in a family that needs to be in that location. So it's really about focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot control. And it takes work because we want to control things. We want people that we love to feel their feelings and to know that they're worthy. But that is under their control. We can see the best for them and allow them to show up as who they need to be in this moment. They may change later. Hillary, I don't know what that is, so I'm not quite sure if you can give me a little bit more clarity. That would be great. If you research Northern Lights, let me know. Stacy, I will definitely, because it might be on a get that done this year list. It's coming to a point where I need to get it done. I really need to hear this. Excellent, Kate. Be careful who you share your dreams with. Yes, and Kate, the more you gain confidence in your dream, the more you gain your own worthiness, the more that you have self-love, the less other people's opinions will impact you. I know that there are a lot of teachers out there, and I mean, I've read the 4 agreements. And what is the second one? It's one of the, oh goodness, I can't believe I can't think of it. I can't believe I can't think of it, but it's basically about other people's opinions don't matter. And while there is validity to that, and I agree other people's opinions should matter less than my own opinion, but we are a collective, connected species. We want appreciation from others. We want to be heard and to be seen from other people. The challenge is, and it's the nuance on that fine line, is when we need to be seen, appreciated and heard from others. The want, the desire, the appreciation of being appreciated, I think is very normal. It's when it gets to be unhealthy, it's when we don't see that within ourselves and we need to see it from other people. Having other people appreciate us. I know I appreciate it. I appreciate your kind comments to me. But if I am living my life needing your kind comments and not nurturing my own self-value, my own self-worth, that's where the unhealthiness part comes from. So be appreciative of other people giving you kind comments and kind thoughts, and do that for other people. And also nurture that from within. So when unkind comments come, when people tell you you can't do that, who do you think you are trying to do that, the less impact it will have. The more you believe in yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you feel worthy of yourself, those hurtful comments will not impact you as much. They might still impact you a little bit, but they're not going to be absorbed into your DNA because your DNA is filled with love. If you're still growing that muscle for yourself and growing that dream and believing in yourself in that dream, share it with people who already believe in you more than you believe in yourself. When you grow that muscle, other people's opinions just aren't going to matter as much. Still might matter a little bit, still might some days impact you more than others, but the more you come from your own self guidance of knowing you are inherently worthy just because you're here, then those other people's opinions are going to matter less. And you're also going to be able to have compassion more for them because you know that that's their own personal journey. It's not really about you. It's their own journey. And what you're sharing with them may impact what they believe about themselves. So that's how they're coming forward with it. It's really often not about you. Maybe it is sometimes. Again, I'm not never a right or wrong person, but the majority of time it's their own experience. And it's bringing up their own fears. So they're blocking you because of their own fears. So share with people who see it for you. Share with the people who believe in you more than you believe in yourself as you grow that experience for yourself. Excellent. I'm glad clarity is what you needed. Cindy, I didn't realize I needed it myself when I was talking about it. I'm like, oh, I have a few things that I need to get clear on too. So welcome. Thank you everyone for being here. Is that your vision board behind you? No, Stacy, it is somewhat, but I have a different one that's more pictures. Behind me is some of my mentors that keep me focused on love, kindness, compassion, and peace. Behind me is some of the places. Over here is different. I'm not pointing to it right. Over there has a lot of the different places that I would like to travel to. So it's more of my bucket list things. There's some affirmations back there. My vision board is in the other room with the pictures of the life that I would like to live. But I love sticky notes, as you can see all around me. And then I just keep the people behind me that are my mentors. Mentors are Mr. Rogers is a big mentor. Obviously, he is gone now. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is a mentor for peace and justice. Brian Stevenson, who is still here, a mentor of peace and justice. I have Elizabeth Gilbert back there. Oprah is back there. There's a lot of people that I admire. And I keep reminding myself of who do I want to show up as? Who do I want to be in the world? I want to be kinder. I want to be loving. I want to be peaceful. And I want to be compassionate. That's the world I want to live in. I suspect the majority of us want to live in that world. There's people who are creating havoc, creating tragedy, and either that's not the world they want to live in, or they come from a deep hurt. There's also psychological issues for people. So that's, again, why I don't like to use all or never, right or wrong, because there's so many different 7 billion people out there. I do believe the majority of us want to live in a kinder, more loving, compassionate, and peaceful world. So that's my focus with the work that I do. I'm trying to see. I don't think your son is 13 and refuses to go to school. Okay, Kate. I will figure out a way to discuss it, but this might be out of my expertise. First of all, I don't have children personally, but I can address some of it. But I definitely encourage you to look for support on people who are trained and knowledgeable in 13-year-olds. It sounds like it's probably something normal for a 13-year-old to go through. But again, no kids here, no training in children. So, but I will discuss that in some fashion probably next week. Lynn, it's hard to appreciate yourself. Absolutely. We tend to be our worst enemies. So I would encourage you, Lynn. I am going to encourage you, Lynn. I would like you to write, and you can do it in comments here. It may not be comfortable, so feel free to not do it in comments here. I encourage you to write a list of, if it's hard for you to appreciate yourself, I'm going to ask you to write a list of 5 things that you appreciate about yourself. They can be things that you appreciate about your physical looks. They can be things that you appreciate about your personality. They can be things that you appreciate about how you walk through life with family and friends. But come up with 5 things that you appreciate about yourself, and then just start growing it. And it's really about being gentle with yourself, because if you're in a space of having a hard time appreciating yourself, it's easy to appreciate what you don't like about yourself. So when you're starting to think of, I don't like this about myself, I don't know you, Lynn, so I don't even know what those could be. But for myself, like, think of something I don't like, that I'm not a morning person or whatever. Reframe it into something that you would like to be. So maybe you're not there yet, but what step could you take to get there tomorrow or get there later today? It's not a right or wrong. It's how do you feel and how do you want to feel? So when you're feeling that you don't appreciate yourself, that's a heavier energy. So how can you move into an energy of feeling a little bit better? I can't do the work for you, but I can encourage you to do the work. And that is to start looking at the things that you do appreciate. I hope your list is more than 5, but if you're just starting on focusing on who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world, your list may be 1, and that's okay. Start affirming that. Affirm, I am in the process of appreciating myself. I am in the process of loving myself. I am in the process of seeing the good in me. I am in the process of caring for myself better. I am in the process of realizing I'm worthy of feeling good. I am in the process of figuring out what makes me happy. So do some of those little steps daily to start feeling a little bit better, and report back. I hope you come and join again. I am here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Again, I would love to do the work for everyone. I can't, but I can show up and give you some tools and tips on doing the work for yourself. I just know you're worthy of doing the work for yourself, and I'm here to support you in that. Here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And of course, that you can hire me as a coach too. Go to my website. I do encourage you to go to my website, and it should pop up. It's a vibration plan, a focus plan. So if you sign up for my email list, and I just pretty much email once a week, sometimes a couple of times, but basically once a week. But you can download that focus plan, and that's going to help you with the bucket list. So you're going to create all these things and then put them in place on where you're going to focus on them. The first bucket is to focus on the things that you know are happening that bring you excitement. There's very little fear involved. The second bucket is things that are exciting to you, but there's still a little bit more fear involved. So it's going to tell you how much attention to give it. And then the last one is those big items that you truly can't see how are going to happen, but you're still going to put them in that third bucket. So you're not going to pay as much attention, because when you pay attention to those items, You step into fear, you step into overwhelm, you step into stress on how is this going to happen. So it's about knowing that you're worthy of all of it, but where are you going to give your attention to? So I encourage you to go to my website. It's right there, carolccmiller.com. It should pop up to join my email list, and then it will send you a link to download that PDF on getting clear on what you're looking for in your life. I am compassionate. I'm a good wife. I am a good friend. I have pretty eyes, and I have a developing spiritual connection. Love, 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 love that, Lynn. Wonderful. Keep growing that. And there are going to be days or moments that you're not feeling compassionate, and that's okay. You're aware of it. You move into compassion. Compassion, love, kindness, peace does not mean other people's unkind, unloving, uncompassionate, and unpeaceful things are okay. It means that we're able to look past that experience and see the hurt that they're coming from to create it. There are consequences to our actions. Our loving actions, there are consequences. Our unloving actions, there are consequences. So it's not saying what you're doing is okay because I'm a loving, kind, compassionate, and peaceful person, but it does mean I'm going to see past that. I understand you have consequences, but I am not going to label you as a horrible human being because you did X, Y, Z. I'm going to come from who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world. And I want to show up as a loving person, a kind person, a compassionate person, and a peaceful person the majority of the time. Not 100% person of any of it. I'm not 100% kind, compassionate, peaceful, and loving. I am that the majority of the time because those are my daily practices. And Nigeria is in the house. I love living in the USA, but no helper need help. I don't know where so you're in Nigeria, I guess. I don't know. Look in your local area for support. I encourage you for everyone to look for local support and get into a community there that can support you in living your best life. I think I have answered everybody's questions. If not, I will come back later. This has gone on longer. I usually try to stay in the 20 to 30 minute range, but we've gone 45 minutes today. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I see you, I hear you, and you matter. You matter to me, you matter to the world, and most importantly, you matter to you. So go out there, get clear on what you want, get clear on what you don't want, which will allow you to get clear on what you do want, and start taking daily steps into living your best life, whatever that looks like. Take care. We'll talk soon. Today is Thursday, so we'll talk on Tuesday. I am going to be back tonight at 5 o'clock. I'll try to post the link here with my friend Shauna Fisher. She's the animal communicator who joins me the second Tuesdays of the month. She's just launched a new book today. I'm so happy for her. And so we're going to be talking about her new book and how to connect yourself with animals more. So have a good day. We'll talk soon. So long for now.